All right, we back, man. I just want to thank everybody for all the support. Coaches Challenge podcast. This is a podcast to give information to those who may or may not know where to get it from, and to hear the opinions and the views of people within the culture and girls basketball realm. So I appreciate everybody for the support, for the likes, for the subscriptions, for tuning in and liking, sharing, all that stuff. I appreciate it. So please continue to do that. I'm going to continue to give you guys content as much as I possibly can because this is valuable information I think everybody should know. And it's going to continue, starting with this man I have to the right of me. Again, I'm trying to start off with the legends in the game, man. I gave you KP the first episode. This man right here, he needs no introduction if you've been in the girls basketball game for the last 20 plus years, but I'm going to say it anyway. Vice president of New Jersey Sparks, head coach for some odd years, assistant coach at Eastside High School. Am I missing anything?
I mean, you pretty much summed it up, man. Let's get to it, baby.
This is Keith KG Gilchrist, man. Round of applause for him, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man. It's great to see you doing this thing for the culture, man. This is big. It's going to get bigger.
Absolutely.
CBS got to put that plug in.
All right, so let's get right to it. Why don't you tell the people who you are, in case I missed anything, and some of the things that you've been through in this girls basketball game?
Nah, I mean, basically hit the nail on the head. My name is Keith Gilchrist, Vice President of New Jersey Sparks girls basketball program, also owner of World Exposure Basketball. Been in the game for 23-plus years, pretty much seen it all, done it all on every level. And I have a lot of knowledge to give to you, a lot of recruits that's out there, parents, any up-and-coming coaches that's trying to start their own program, how to come up and get better because, you know, we came from the mud. Like, nobody gave us nothing, and it was a lot of hard work put into that. So we definitely appreciate you having me today.
No problem. So when I was talking to KP in first episode 1, you know, his start into girls basketball, you're familiar with. He explained he started off as a DJ in this game.
Right. So
why don't you tell the people how you started off in this game?
Oh, man. My boy, Shane Gerald, was sitting in front of my house one day. I was, just chilling. And he came up on me, him and my brother, and he was like, hey, man, I'm having a problem, with this little team I just started, man. I got a bunch of girls in the gym. I started a couple years ago, man, but now it's just too many kids. I need some help, man. And I'm like, yo, what is this, boys back? He's like, nah, it's girls. So I'm like, wow. Like, I wasn't really – I always wanted to coach, to be honest with you. But my mentality was never like girls basketball because, I just never really paid too much attention to it, to be honest with you. So, if anyone knows Shane Gerald, he's the type of guy that doesn't like to take no for an answer. Right. And I've known him since I was like, 7 years old. So he convinced me after like 3 hours. I mean, he's a smart guy, got me some Coronas at the time. I was drinking beers, got me right.
That's it.
So I committed to him, and then he asked me I said, when does this start? I said, we start Saturday. So it was like on a Tuesday or something like that. He's like, yo, show up to the gym. We got to pay the fee is this amount of money. I got to pay? Like, what? I didn't sign up for this.
You got to volunteer and right. You got to pay out your own pocket.
Make a long story short, show up to the gym, went to school 9. At that time, we were only playing within the city of Patterson. Went to school 9, walked in the gym. Shane didn't think I was going to show up because there was other people that claimed they was going to help him, but they never showed up. Anyway, and we didn't talk after that conversation. We never had another conversation.
Okay.
So I show up, and I'm like, okay, so where's my team? I gave my money. Then I showed. I said, so where's my team? So my team was lined up on the wall. So I'm looking. I'm like, as a coach, I'm like, I'm going to get the best out of whatever I got. Let's go. Uh-huh. So we go out there, and it was a jamboree. So the final score was 26-0. I'll never forget it. We never got the ball past half court. I'm like, yo, bro. And I go watch his team play, and his team is one of the best because I had the older kids. I had the 7th and 8th graders, and he had the younger girls, and the younger girls was the best team in the league. So I'm like, why I ain't coaching that team?
But, set me up.
Yeah, man. I thought you was my boy. So that first season, man, oh, man, I love those kids. To this day, I still talk to those kids. That was like 23 years later. We won one game that year.
Okay, so you got something to hold your head on.
Yeah, we won one, man. The other team didn't show up. can't make it up. The other team didn't show up. I was hoping they didn't show up, and they definitely did it. And we went out and had a pizza party, man, right there on Frank and Joe's. We celebrated my first basketball win as a coach, man.
Oh, that's the way you got it.
Yep, that's how we started. KP, man. I don't know, I might got you on this one.
Got you beat, man. Yeah. At least you was positive with yours, KP.
Right.
Yo, that is funny, man. All right, so let's take something out of that though. So you said something. You said that you still talk to a lot of those girls to this day.
Absolutely, man.
So was that a defining moment for you in girls basketball? How did you transition to say, okay, I really want to do this thing now? Because with such losing experience, but it seemed like you still enjoyed the time. So
that's part of basketball. Like basketball, you create relationships, that last a lifetime. And that's what I told the girls from the beginning. I always believed that, whatever you put your mind to, you can accomplish. A lot of them looked at me like I was crazy, but I told them, I said, look, in a year or so, we're gonna be the best team in the city of Patterson. That was our goal when we first started. Like we just wanted to play here. Win here, dominate, and then that was it. And to be honest with you, that's exactly what we did. We got better. We worked like most teams at that time, they would just stop after the season was over with. Season probably ended in like February, and they would just stop. So I told Chance, no, what do we have to do to get our kids to play like the other teams in the league? Because there were some phenomenal players that I saw. I said, I would just sit in the gym all day and just watch girls play. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know that girls can play like this. Shadeja Green, the Patterson had a ton of talent, and like they played just like the boys, to be honest with you. So after I said, what do we got to do to get our kids to play like this? And he said, we got to play all year round. So that's what we did. So even we couldn't get a gym in the summertime when schools were closed, so we would sweep up School 13, the grounds over there. It would be a bunch of Corona bottles and all types of drug paraphernalia. We'll sweep it up. Get some cones, get our girls out there. If we saw a kid walking down the street with basketball shorts on, we recruited them. Like you look like you can play. Right. Just come on over here. Where's your mother? Where's your father? And then we took that and we won like 4 straight city championships. We only lost like 1 game in 4 years. So
talk to me about what was the climate like in the city of Patterson while you was developing and bringing that team together?
I mean, it was competitive, man. Oh man, it wasn't easy. It was a team called Grace Chapel. Like they would win every year, but there was other good teams out there as well. School 30. So it was, and it always feels good to to start and do something in your city and have an impact. Because to this day, people look at what we did and are still doing with our program, and it's a total amazement to come from nothing to one of the nation's best. That's tough. I mean, that's a major accomplishment.
Okay. So you guys build the middle school program now. Let's go up the timeline a little bit. When did you guys start transitioning from city league to travel to taking this thing on the road and seeing, maybe we can make something big out of this?
Right. So, we started winning a lot around here, and it got, redundant. So we wanted to get a bigger challenge. So we started traveling. Really didn't know what we were doing at first. We didn't know where we was going. We had to learn trial by error, going to the wrong places, going to the wrong tournaments. But we didn't care. We were just trying to put our kids out there. At that time, the biggest thing was to play in like the state AAU tournament. So that's what we used to do, just states, right?
That's when you had to qualify for states.
Yeah, so we had to qualify. So we thought that was like going to the world championships, right? So we actually qualified a couple times. Few years, we won state championship back-to-back a couple years, and we went out to Minnesota with a group of girls, and it was kind of like going back to recreation again, like hit another brick wall.
This is the best of the best over here.
Yeah. Oh man, it was some tremendous. I thought they was cheating, to be honest with you. I need the birth certificates. I need everything, man. These kids can't be 12 years old. Are you serious?
Right.
I mean, wow. So it kind of was a reality check, but that's what we needed. So after that, we just kept building, kept grinding. And one year we had like a phenomenal team, and I didn't even know it. Really, literally just in my van, we're going to Georgia or somewhere. I can't remember where we're going. We're in like a 12 passenger with 15 people.
Jesus Christ.
We didn't have no money for the hotel to pay for. We got to. We was trying to figure it out as we went along.
You was living on a prayer.
That's it, man. We was making phone calls, trying to get donations to help us. So we get down there, and I didn't know. I got 10 major Division I kids in my car at this band at my time, so I had no idea.
So let me ask you this, right? To shift the conversation a little bit. In today's era, you would never be able to do that. In basketball. You would never be able to have 15 people in a 12-passenger van. So I say that to say, talk to me about the basketball atmosphere and the attitude compared to back then. When we're talking about, what year are we talking about time frame?
This would have to be about 2013.
Okay,
like
so we're talking about 10 years ago to now, which isn't a long time.
No.
But it's a long time in the basketball sense. So talk to me about how it used to work, the travel and basketball as a whole, the environment, compared to then to now.
That's a great question. To answer that, and I have to visualize who was in that van. You know, it was me, a couple of coaches, and 12 players with no parents.
Right.
So the parents were pretty much trusted the coaches to do the right thing by their kids. And that's the biggest difference between now that I can see between now and back then. Like, I didn't even have a lot of experience, and these parents trusted me with their kids. Right. And all of them went Division I, and all of them, we had a phenomenal year. Nowadays, it's more like, you know, a lot parents, which is good. You know, you want parents to be involved. You want parents' involvement. Don't get it twisted, because, you know, it's a growing game. So as things evolve, you know, people want more for their kids. But it's, you know, it's a catch-22. I think nowadays, so being that a lot of more parents are more hands-on, it's more like a gift and a curse. Because back then, we wanted the parents to come because, you know, we basically took care of the kids.
Right. It was an expense on your behalf in multiple ways, not just financial. It was a mental expense. It was draining. It was physical expense. You had to drive 12, 15 hours.
Right.
And, you know, if you have parent participation like you do now, it alleviates a lot of that stress and a lot of that responsibility on your behalf.
Right, absolutely.
But what's the catch-22 to that?
The catch-22 is now every parent wants their kid to be that kid. And see, I'm the type of person where I'm going to tell you, they look, based off of my experience, this is where I see what I see for your kid. And people take it, you know, some people enjoy it or they respect it, and some people just don't accept it, that experience. I've been doing this for 23 years. I've seen just about every top kid or what level. And to be honest with you, I don't care what level a kid can play on. If it's Division 3, 2, 1, JUCO, NAIA, it doesn't matter to me because I'm here to help your kids. Only 4% of kids go to college for free, and most people don't get that. 1% goes Division 1. 1% of kids that play basketball, whether it's a boy or girl, goes Division 1. 99% don't go.
Gotta figure it out.
So,
and to piggyback with that, it has to be worse now with the COVID year and all the transfer portal. It got to be worse now. I think that number might be less now.
Listen, the number may be the same, I believe, but I'm gonna say this to you: it's definitely hard. Like I feel bad for some of these 2023s that are out here now, because I know there's a lot of good kids out there that can play at the next level, whether it be Division II, especially. But the college coaches are waiting for the transfer portal to kick in, because their mentality is they'd rather take a kid that has experience before they take a kid that doesn't have any experience playing at the collegiate level. So that percentage, you know, I don't know where it is as of right now, but.
So that's tough, because now you used to see kids getting recruited out of high school, but now you're seeing them getting recruited out of prep school, JUCO. Get in there. You got to find your way into the system, and then they'll get you from there. And the transfer portal, I think it's over 1,200 names right now to fill 870 spots.
And it's rising. The season's not even over yet.
So that's the scary part, is that kids are just dropping out in the middle of the year.
Definitely.
So, like what happens moving forward in the offseason when everybody makes their decision? All right, you know what? The year is over now. that
People are
800
gonna get bumped. So if you already have until you sign on that dotted line, your so-called commitment means nothing nowadays, because these coaches are gonna jump on the next thing smoking, and it's a business for them. Like they have to can't be mad at them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's they have to feed their families off of this. And the other day I was watching Maisha Hines Allen. Shout out to you. Your great podcast, Offline. For those who don't have it, subscribe to it. I was watching her two former players, her and Tiana Muldrow, speak about, and you're talking about two players that I was lucky enough to coach. Tiana Muldrow, who went to West Virginia, Hall of Famer at West Virginia, got drafted by the Seattle Storm, played across seas, and Maisha Hines Allen, who went to Louisville, took Louisville to a Final Four, got drafted by the Washington Mystics, still plays for them, won a world championship with the Washington Mystics rather. And she said on her podcast the best days that she had during her basketball career was AAU.
Wow, that's amazing to go through. I don't think you understand, Maisha. It's hard to describe what she was doing for the state of New Jersey in basketball. It's no way. Like it was almost like a passing of the torch when she was in high school. She graduated in the same year I graduated, I think 2014.
Yes.
And I watched her play freshman year. I went to Paramus Catholic my freshman year, and they played the scrimmage. And at the time, Paramus Catholic was coming off one of their better years. They was one of the top programs in the state. And she came in here at a Montclair High School, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know it was intramurals where they had the boys and the girls playing. So she was just that kind of beast. Not to say she was just a different beast.
Yeah.
She was laying the ball up, hand by the rim in the layup lines, coming down court, hit you with the move.
At 6'2" with a power, like she's a power point guard.
That was hard. At that time, it wasn't normal to see that.
No.
So I say that to say she transcended. She kept Jersey basketball alive at the time. So for you guys to have that in your program, was that the turning point for you guys to say, okay, we got something here. Yeah. Let's take this to another level?
The funny part about it, and she'll tell you this, and that team that she played on when she originally came to us as a freshman, like she came off the bench.
Wow.
Like she didn't even start. Like
I would love to see the people that were starting ahead of her.
She didn't start, and she'll tell you she didn't start. Like she'll say, hey, all of those kids that were on that team went, Major Division I. She's proud of that part of it. Now, by the time her last year came around, of course,
she was the guy.
Or even her second to last year, she was, it was her and Tiana Muldrow's show. But Tiana didn't play when Maisha came in as a freshman. Tiana didn't play on that team, and Maisha still came off the bench.
Wow. Okay, so talk to me about. Okay, so you guys went to Georgia, right?
Right.
And what happened in there? What was the light bulb moment for you that kind of like said, all right, we got something going here, man?
I can never forget it, man. So we get to the gym, right? And it's a Brandon Clay's event, and we're playing in the championship game against Antonio Davis's team at that time. I can't remember the name of his team.
It was Georgia Ice?
Yes, Georgia Ice. And he had his daughter, Kayla Davis, playing. So I don't know. I know Antonio Davis, but I don't know his daughter. I don't know these players that play on his team. Right. I'm thinking it's just another game. Right. So me and one of the other coaches I was with, we come with our backpacks. We come walking in the gym, and we walk in the gym and look to the left. It's coaches from here all the way around lined up, and it's only we play next. I know we play. It's only one gym, one court. We play next, but I'm like, I had to leave. I walked right back out, went to the bathroom. They here to see us.
Who they here for?
Right. I'm talking about Gino. What I mean by coaches, I'm talking about Jeff Walls, Gino Ariema.
You're talking about the head coaches.
I'm talking about the heck. Like,
they're talking about third assistants.
No, they here to see us. So they make a long story short, we actually ended up winning that game, and then we were leaving there and going to, I believe it was the Battle in the Borough. So as we're getting in the car and we're trying to back out and leave in the van, the same 12 passenger with 15 kids or 15 people in it. I mean, like 10 college coaches blocked us in. They wouldn't let us. Where are you going? Who are you and where are you going?
That's amazing, man. Yo, and you have no idea. You just like, man.
My mindset was, man, we would just I'm just happy I was having a pizza party a couple years ago because the team didn't show up. Now I got Syracuse, Michigan.
Oh, blocking me in, trying to
block me in, right. Where I'm going, like, where you going?
Right. We going where you going, man.
Right.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so you guys, you get through Blaine and Clay. That year is pretty much over. That's the back end of July. So now you're shifting into a different, like your mindset got to be different now going into next year.
Now I know we're very good, but at the same time, there's some uncertainty because like maybe we just didn't play the best of the best. I don't know. So we go out there and now we're grinding. Like we're sending emails to sponsorships. Like first of all, let me say this. Our only thing I knew was that Boo Williams was the biggest tournament to go to.
That's standard. That's just standard.
I knew that. Right. You know what I'm saying? But we've actually and because we had been there before and in previous years, and I saw some of the kids come in, and I'm like, oh goodness, 6'6", 6'5", 6. Nah, that ain't us. We need to go over here. And
where's the other courts at?
So at this point now, I'm like, man, I think we got something. I'm sending emails to Boo, and he's ignoring me.
You ever mess with him about that to this day?
I mean, I think I probably did maybe once or twice, but he probably wouldn't remember. Boo's a busy guy, but
absolutely.
So eventually, what happened though was he did respond one. I think I sent him after like the 10th email. He said, "Yo, man, who do you have?" Like, no, know what I did? I went through Jimmy Salmon. We had to find a link. Jimmy Salmon, shout out to you. I don't know if you remember this. You got me on the phone with Boo. Jimmy used to run the Players organization, Nike sponsored team out of Patterson. He was actually my first basketball coach. And he got me on the phone with Boo, and then he's asking me, well, who do you have on your team? And I'm telling him, it's like, okay, we have Maisha Hines, we got Tiana Mojo, we got Imani Tilford. These kids already have these offers, boom, boom, boom. So he's like, all right, you know what? We're going to let you in to the top division. So, and we were not a Nike team. At that time, we were Adidas.
But Boo Williams is a Nike tournament.
Yeah, but there wasn't no EYBL.
There was no EYBL at the time.
No, there's no.
But it's well known that Boo Williams, Nike teams is getting the preferential.
That's it.
Top on the top bracket.
That's it.
Okay.
So we had to fight our way to get in that, and then our plan was our plan. We were Adidas sponsor. We won Adidas Nationals the year before that, our first year in. So Adidas sent us a bunch of gear.
So hold on, no, let's not gloss past this. So there was an Adidas league before.
Absolutely, there was an Adidas league before Nike. Nike had a quote unquote
league.
Nike Nationals. There was Adidas Nationals,
and you guys had won Adidas Nationals. That
there was Nike Nationals. Let me rephrase that. But Adidas Nationals also had the same thing.
Okay, so y'all was at the same time.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But there was no EYBL at that time.
No, but Adidas had Adidas Nationals.
Right.
And Nike
yes.
Nike
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we won that Adidas Nationals the year before that. So now I'm like, man, we trying to get into now. I'm being honest with you. Like this is where they say it is at. This is where we want to be. Plus there was this other program in Jersey, Ring City. At the time.
Maria Harper.
Yeah, that had the Nike deal. So, it's a little rivalry we had going on.
Okay.
So, make a long story short, he let us in, and our plan was we're going to wear all of our Adidas gear and walk around the track and show everyone, look, we out here, like, come see us. That's how we were. We was hungry. Like, I was a different type of coach.
Nah.
We worked too hard. We have nothing. Nobody gave us nothing. We had a 15 passenger at that time.
Oh, okay, that's
we upgraded the next year.
We got the extra.
Right.
It's the 3 seats. That's
right. I don't know if it had AAA or not, but
the AC work.
Right. Yeah. It's roll the windows down, man. But anyway, we went there, man, and we represented. Like we was tearing teams up, to be honest with you. And then the next year, that same year, we won Adidas Nationals again, back to back. We were a top 5 team in the country. The most influential people they had me in the top 25 based off of being the head coach of the Sparks, which was cool. But I never cared about any of that. I only wanted to help the kids. Mm-hmm. So then after that, that's when we got our deal with Nike.
Okay. All right, so that's cool, man. That pretty much brought you up to the current speed of where things are. I want to shift gears a little bit. I want to know I want to know some of the top 5 players you ever coached against. In your journey, in your whole basketball coaching career, I want to know. Because you could look on college, you could look in the WNBA. I'm sure you've played against a lot of those kids. So I want to know your top 5.
All right. Wow. Okay. I'm going to give you positions.
Okay. Let's start at the center position.
Center, Brittany Griner.
Talk to me about when you first seen Brittany Griner, not to get off.
Listen, man. We was in Ohio somewhere, and, everyone kept saying, yo, man, you got to go see, this kid, Brittany Griner, play. So I'm like, okay, let's go watch the game, whatever. Mm-hmm. So we go to the game, and I'm watching her. At this time, she probably about 6'5". She was a lot thicker. Like, now she's slimmer, but then she was like
she was husky.
Yeah, she was a little strong. She wasn't fat or anything, but it was more like a bigger, stronger build.
I had some baby fat on her.
Yeah, definitely. So, she played the game, and I'm watching her. She had like maybe 17, 18 points, maybe 10, 12 rebounds, maybe 4 or 5 blocks. So I'm like, yo, bro, is she all right, man?
Solid.
Come over here. Come up for all that. He's like, fam, she in the 8th grade. I said, oh, my God. She's playing 17s as an 8th grade. I said, oh, my God, she's the greatest. She's the best ever. Like, who is this kid? So I had to go walk by her. Like, I wanted to see her, like, man to man, like, face to face, rather. I'm thinking, like, yo, is this girl for serious? Like,
is that for real?
Is this real? Like, it definitely was. So she's definitely at the center spot. No doubt about that. Okay. All-time great.
That's the center. Let's talk about the 4 position.
That's easy. Breanna Stewart. Coached against her one time as she played with the Philly Bells. And this was during that transition time where we were trying to figure out if we're good or not. But I knew we didn't lose to anybody around here.
Okay.
Like, I knew in New Jersey or anybody, I didn't even know about the Philly Bells, to be honest with you. I didn't know too much about it. I heard of them, but I didn't know anything about it. Right. So we're playing the game, and I'm, if anybody that ever played for me or have seen me coach during that time, especially, I was very rambunctious. Like,
yeah, he was up.
I'm sweating. I'm talking. I'm into the game. I'm trying to hype my team. I feel like I'm playing. Like,
right.
So I'm trying to give them my energy, and we were actually winning the game by like maybe 6 or 7 points. So I'm like, this the team. I'm talking crazy because everybody's saying this team is undefeated. They haven't lost anybody all summer. I'm like, who are these, man? Let's go, man. Man, I think Breanna heard me. Man, she went off. From that point on, I was talking. So I think I blamed myself for that.
You did that. You poked the sleeping giant.
Yeah, it was over from that point. They had her, Brittany Sykes. I mean, they were loaded on the same team. Yeah. Yeah. So they dubbed us. Yeah, it was a light dub. But the crazy part about it is, like, everybody knew, like, we were young. Like, at that time, Aisha was only a freshman.
Right. Okay.
Tiana was a sophomore. So these kids were looking at us like, yo, this Sparks team is tough. Like, you guys played us better than any other team.
Right. Normally 50 ball everybody else. They just 20 ball job. That was
light 20
right,
too. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so that's at the 4 spot. Who you got at the 3?
3 spot.
Now it starts to get hard.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta go Kayla Davis, man. Kayla Davis, man. She was a walking bucket. It was effortless too. Like, she didn't even work hard. We won the game, but bro, she gave us a light 30 without, like, I don't even think she sweated. So she's definitely for kids that I've coached against, she's.
So let's talk, because you don't hear her name too often anymore, but let's talk about what kind of player she was.
Man, bro, 6'3", shoot the 3, handle the ball like a guard, like, beat you off the dribble, mid-range, pull up, post up. What you want?
She did everything.
All 4, was it 4 levels? Yeah, 4.
4 levels scoring?
3 balls from 2 step behind the line.
Jesus Christ.
Her father built an animal, man. Shout out to Kayla Davis, man. Christ. She was a beast.
Okay, now we got the 2 spot. Who's the best shooting guard you ever played against?
It's getting difficult.
Somebody that you was like, God, there's nothing we could do. What? Yeah. God, dog it, man.
I gotta say, man, Kelsey Mitchell.
Kelsey Mitchell, you said at the 2. Now, we actually had an encounter with Kelsey Mitchell's dad at the Final Four. You remember that?
Yeah, definitely.
Remember that? Now, he did something that was legendary.
Yeah, he went from, one tournament coached against Kelsey, and he was in the stands. And then the very next tournament, he had walking in with an Ohio State jacket. I'm like, with a college book. I'm like, yo, Mark, what's up? It's a fit. Oh, I said, well, I know where his daughter.
Right.
Actually, he had two daughters.
They both went to Ohio State, right?
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, and can you say a name 3 times? Is it that traumatizing for the one spot?
I don't know, man. This girl gave me nightmares, man. Nightmares.
From
bro.
young, too.
Oh, 8th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade playing, 17, 7th, 8th grade. Bianca Cuevas, man.
Oh, my
Shout out to you. I love you. But you scarred me too many times, man. Literally her last game at the Rose, like we was in the championship, and me and Thomas joke about this all the time. Like, you're not supposed to touch the book. Like the official book is you can't take at halftime. I don't think my team believed me. So I don't care. I went and took, excuse me, Boop took the book. She has 30.
At the half.
Are you gonna allow this? And they just looked at me like, that's all she got.
I think that's a pretty good job, Coach.
Are you gonna lace them up? Like, what's the plan? We had nothing for it, man. Shout out to Bianca, man. They won that chip that year. They got us, and she was amazing. Amazing.
Hilarious. Are you gonna lace them up?
Yeah, do something. That's how my Asian was looking at me like, yo, bro, like I got 20. That ain't enough.
That's crazy. Okay, so those are the top. Now, let me ask you a question now. You left some people off.
Oh, man, I can definitely. I got some more names.
You left some people off.
I got some more names for you, man.
And I think it's a little biased. You didn't say nobody in the last 5-6 years. What's going on, man?
Yo, look, man. Did you hear? Though, check the resumes of those kids.
No, listen, I'm not doubting that. I'm saying, what's the bench looking like? Give me 2 more names.
I remember younger, not as a 17 and under kid, but as a younger, when I was like, I think my team might have been like 13 and under, or 14 or wherever it was, and we played against Marina Mabry and Michaela Mabry, and I'm like, hold up. Do they miss? I mean, that's what we was playing in the state tournament. Remember I told you about that?
Yeah.
So that's
playing the Mabrys in New Jersey. It's not a good idea.
And that was our last year. I said, I'm not doing this no more after this game. Like, who are these kids? They was literally averaging like 90 points a game. So I'm looking at the scores. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna score 90 on us. Listen, Marina Mabry, shout out to you. Michaela was good too.
Dara Mabry.
Dara Mabry was younger, but she definitely was on that team as well. From what I remember, the Demons were loaded that year. But that was pretty much. I mean, there's a lot of talent. Don't get it twisted from just me coaching or being around the game. The past few years, those kids have to build up to pass that resume, don't you think?
100%. The only person I think you leaving off.
Oh
no.
I know you about to say. AF?
Yeah, because the only reason I bring that up,
scarred you,
she hurt me. My first year as an assistant on the 16 under EYBL.
Yeah. Shout out to you, AZ.
And AZ violated me, man. And she was in the 8th grade. And we had a good team. We talked Deja Wentz, Emily LaPointe, Jenna Johnson. We had a Denia Darby late. We had a good, I'm thinking we good. So all year we've been kicking behind, man. We've been 16 under EYBL. Now it's time for Nike Nationals. It's time. Like, come on, y'all. This is it.
Yeah, she definitely scarred us too, because we played her in Boo Williams one year. I think we won our pool. They won their pool, Fairfax Stars, and they knocked. And I think she probably dribbled the ball like 4 times the whole game. Gave us like a light 30.
I wish she only gave us 30. So this is but you gotta understand, this is my first, like, I just got the call. I was coaching the 6th grade babies.
Right.
And Ty was like, yo, my man, he not with me, he can't make it. Just come be my sister. I need your eyes. So I'm like, all right, cool. So this is back in July, first game, Fairfax Star. I'm like, okay, let's see what this is about.
Right. I have to give a shout out to the one other kid that gotta be on that list, Sabrina Nescu. Coached against her too. When she played with the Cal Stars when they were Adidas and we were Adidas at the same year. But they went a little bit earlier, but she was a
beast. So I say that to say she gave us 45. And Ty called a timeout midway through the third quarter and asked, "Are you gonna let this 8th grader kill y'all like that?" I said, well, "Ty, you meant to say 8th grade, or she?"
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah, you meant sophomore, right? Not 8th.
We know he playing 16s. Yeah, 8th
She's
grade.
in 8th grade. She just came off the USA team in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen nothing like that in my life.
So excuse me, like we talked about levels before. Like, excuse me if I'm evaluating or looking at a kid, like, it might be my fault.
This is who I had to go against.
I'm naming the players I've seen play. Like, I'm evaluating based off of that.
Right.
You know?
It's not the same kind of conversation here you're talking about.
Right.
All right, let's shift the conversation a little bit. Let's talk about AAU basketball, right? There's been you say like a lack of participation, so to speak, at a high level for girls basketball.
Yeah, I think the participation is definitely down. And to be honest with you, it's like the game is especially on the AAU circuit, and I think it's trickling down to high school. Like, the game it seems like it's being gentrified, in my opinion. Like, you don't see inner city kids involved in the game like you used to, and I think it's hurting the game. So you don't really see those kids that really come from nothing. Like, you see a lot of kids that have the money to pay for a trainer. Because now you have to have a trainer. Like, back then, you go outside and play basketball.
Just go play. You don't do that no more.
You have to have money, the finances to be able to do this. The level has gone to another level. Don't get it twisted. So has the training, and that training is not just go out there and play, against street ball.
Park, right?
Right. No, that's you. I mean, I'm not telling no one not to do that, but you have to be in the gym every day, and the people just don't have the money, especially in, I live in northern New Jersey. Like, we're 10 minutes from the city, and I just don't see the amount of participation that it used to be. And it's not good. Like, you even see teams now, like high school teams, that don't have a JV team. Or
yes, absolutely.
Like, that's bad, man.
100%. But okay, so let me ask you this: what do you feel is the cause of the gentrification?
Money. Like, it costs money. Like, so me being part of running a program for so many years, like, bro, like, do you know, like, we had to go to all of these places. The budget was probably to run a program from 3rd, 4th grade to 1,700, which we had, bro, cost you about $70,000, $80,000 a year. So, and a lot of kids and parents that don't have it.
I get that, but what I'm going to say is this: when you did it, and it's been proven that it can be done.
Oh, absolutely.
So my question becomes: is it really the money, or is it the mentality of the kids and the parents nowadays? Because I feel like back in the day, I can't even tell you the last time that I seen somebody tagging with a sign, we
right.
need to go to nationals, please donate.
Nah.
I don't feel like there's no hustle. It's in a sense of entitlement right now with these kids and parents that you could say gentrification, but I don't feel like there's a hustle. Like, all right, I know I ain't got it, but we're going to find a way to get it. It's more of I got to figure it out as a program thing now.
Yeah, no, definitely. When you reach a certain level, back when we were coming up, those were probably the best days, because the parents were willing to do the tagging. The kids were willing to do the tagging because they just wanted to do it. They wanted to be a part of it. They wanted to travel. Nowadays, let's be honest. Like, you can simplify it and just say, like, I know how I came up. Like, I didn't just get a new pair of sneakers every other month. You know what I'm saying? I got one black, one pair of sneakers, one white in the beginning of the school year, and then in the summertime maybe another one. Nowadays, kids are getting whatever they want. And it's immediate. Like, it's immediate gratification. They want it right now. Like, and that's the type of world that we live in as well. So there's really never one answer, right answer, or not. Sometimes some things have more than one right answer. So that's definitely a good point. People wanting everything right now, but some people still just don't have it to put it out there. You know what I'm saying?
And I get that. And you work with those type of people, right? Because you don't want to see the game losing its numbers.
Well, I'm going to give you a better scenario, right? So let's say, for instance, if you started a program, right, and you had a bunch of inner city parents, and all you did was play in Teaneck, New Jersey. You may have to go get certain kids because a parent may not want to bring them to practice, right?
Okay.
All right, but you'll deal with that at that time.
Right.
Now, as they start to grow up and get bigger, now you ain't playing in Teaneck no more. Now you got to go to Chicago. You got to go to Minnesota. You got to go to Florida. You got to go here. You got to go there, right? Who's paying for that? The parent going to look at you like, okay, well, I don't have it. How much is these hotels? It's $300 a night for me to go to Chicago. Who going there? My daughter ain't. If I ain't going, my daughter ain't going. Okay, well, we got to come up with the money to cover both. So fortunately, what we were doing is we had a bunch of fundraisers that we did. You know, we threw big time tournaments like a New Year's resolution, middle school, high school. We do stuff like that. You know, we had a tricky tray. So we had to find our own funding because even during the time, like we're not Nike anymore or Adidas, but when we were, they wasn't giving us any money. They would give us gear, and that was it at that time. So we had to really, really get it from the mud. So if you really want to grow the game, like some people say, I want to grow the game. That's the new hashtag. Hashtag grow the game. What are you doing to grow the game? Are you grinding like that? Or are you just going on Twitter and putting up a couple of tweets and then going on with your day? Like, I don't see it. And the good thing is that there are steps being taken to help get the girls and women in college basketball some of the stuff that the men usually get, but it's nowhere near. Still, the disparity is still crazy. So it's tough, man. If you don't have funding right now for a program, you're done. And we were Northern New Jersey. It hit us hard because we were in Northern New Jersey and it was a pandemic. People were dying and losing their kids.
I think the most out of the whole country would happen here, New York City.
Dying,
Jersey,
or losing their jobs, can't afford to pay for, and they talking about AAU basketball. Like, you know how long it took us to recoup from that. I think that was one of our biggest downfalls. To be honest with you, it was hard for us to recover from that because we can't get in the gym. We can't get in the gym. We can't make money. If we can't make money, we can't travel because a lot of our kids depend on us to take care of it.
Okay, that's so let me ask you this, right? And to piggyback off that a little bit, so now you have some programs with a big funding, but you don't see them as successful. Why do you think that is? You have, I'm not going to call any programs out, but there's some programs that are really funded very well and offer, if any, very pennies on the dollar for what they should be charging, and they're not getting the level of success that you should be. Being that money is a big financial contributor to what's the success of a program. So why is it that some of these programs that are being funded heavily are still not succeeding?
Well, two-part answer to that. Participation numbers are down, so everybody's chasing the same kids. And it depends on what your level of success is, what you measure success at this level. Because I think sometimes a lot of us misconstrue that point because the goal is to what? Get into college for free, right? Go to school, no matter what level you go to. So how I judge a program is not based on how many Division I kids you have or anything like that. I judge a program based off of when I see you, are you uniformed? Are you dressed, right? How many kids do you have on each team? Is it 10 kids per team? Are you bouncing around 3 kids, 1 kid playing 4 different levels or like I was before? So if I see you established, your kids are working, they're looking good, and you're getting kids in college no matter what level, because everybody, I think that's the mentality sometimes where people say you're not succeeding because your program is not beating the best of the best. Okay. It's not about wins and losses, right? At the end of the day, because they ain't recruiting me. I'm not going to college. If that same program, some of those programs out there are getting kids into school, that's what it's all about for me. And I want to give a shout out to Anwar Gladden from South Shore High School, right? Use that as an example. He does a tremendous job in an inner city school for years, getting kids into school, and he's not affiliated with a big time AAU program. He gets kids, he get those kids out of the city of New York, and they go to school, man. And I see some of those kids, and every time I see them, I'll speak to them randomly. I let them know, like, yo, bro, like, don't take what you're doing for granted, and don't let anyone try to minuscule what you're doing, because what you're doing for our people is in specific who don't have that money to travel is tremendous to getting those kids in school.
100%, 1,000%. I also want to shout out Anwar because, obviously now that I'm in New York and, we built a little bit of a rapport now, and I can see it. I can see it firsthand. And it's hard. Listen, it ain't easy, man, because what you got to deal with inner city kids, you don't just got to deal with the lack of funding. You also got to deal with the inner city mentality. Yeah. And that's hard to coach, man. As a person, it's hard to deal with multiple different. As a coach, period, it's hard to deal with multiple different personalities. But now you're dealing with different personalities on top of the troubles that you have dealing with inner city kids, and that is 10 times harder than coaching talent, in my opinion.
No, it's not easy, and it's a grind. And shout out to and I think that's what the game is missing. There's not enough people in their inner cities that's putting in work like that
because it's not lucrative.
Right. So that's
where are all the people that are doing this not for the money? Those people are gone.
Right.
Where are they?
I don't know.
But growing up, for me personally, right? You had Coach Mike and Tina, Mike Richardson. Then you go over to the city. You had all these different legends, and all these other guys that are just doing it for the love of the game. And they'll charge you what needs to be charged to make it happen, but they're not trying to be rich off of you. Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Me and Shane, man, we had a job. Like
right, absolutely.
We took nothing from nothing to top 32 in the country, so that quote unquote, so they say, and we went to work every day because it was never the basic fundamentals for the program was never for us to make a bunch of money. It was never. That's not why Shane started the program. He started because his daughter said, "Hey, Dad, I want to play basketball." And he said, okay, well, I'll start a team. Okay, well, let's just keep it simple. And that's how we kept it. We never took it to, made it about money. That's not because of that reason. So, you really don't find too many people out here that's doing it for that. Whether they're training, they're gonna want to get paid for it, right?
Absolutely.
Whether they're coaching, now they want to see what's in it for them. And the people that are not getting anything out of it, they're bailing out on it. And that's we need more violent, more hands-on people and more people that's willing to jump out the window. Because to be honest with you, when me and Shane was traveling, or trying to come up, we went through our trials and tribulations. You know how many kids we lost that jumped ship because they saw something that they thought was better? And a lot of times, I think people get frustrated with that, and they think that it can't be done because they're going to get swallowed up by the so-called big dogs. But no, we didn't. We kept going.
Hey, yo, what?
Right.
Right. So
that was a good one. But I'm be honest with like the Gauchos was definitely big time when we were playing Philly Bells when we first started. We would lose kids to.
That was pre when you had the deal.
Yeah, we didn't have anything, but
right.
That didn't stop us.
Right.
We got better. We lost one kid and we got another kid. We just kept going.
And I don't think that. So let me ask you this: when did you see the shift of gentrification? Around what time?
It happened a few years ago, in my opinion, when the reset, the everything was just more expensive. Just put it that way. When we were traveling to certain cities and hotel costs were doubled or tripled.
So it was an economic thing. So you don't think it was an intentional the girls basketball is getting hot now. Let's try to squeeze it for all the money we have. You think it was more due to economics and the cost of what it costs to run a program now that kind of made you have no choice but to charge. And then people started seeing that and say, oh, you can charge this, so now I'm going to do it.
Right. You ain't see tryout fees. Now you see tryout fees, right? So we used to have to do that. That was an actual fundraiser. So some people we actually, we didn't charge because we know they $20, their mother, father, they didn't have it or it wasn't going towards that. Another thing is, again, the training part of it too, man. You'll see programs, right? Like we're New Jersey Sparks, right? We're an inner city program. A lot of our teams were inner city kids, kids that are now you'll see programs that are inner city programs with no inner city kids. That's what I mean by being gentrified. Like, where is the? And I'm not saying you're not supposed to. Look, man, when you get to a certain level, it's not a disrespect to any coach. Right. Trust me, you got to maintain that status.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can also create lanes for others as well while you do. It could be a catch-20. It could be a two-way street.
I hear you on that for sure. But my thing is, if I gotta go, you know the numbers. If I gotta go to Boo Williams and that's a $15,000 trip, that's tough.
Yeah, no,
it's tough to take 6 kids that's inner city that can't. That's not even a full team. Just 6.
It's tough. That's what I'm saying. It's not easy at all. That's why I'm saying they don't have to go to Boo Williams. Like, you'll create something different to where they stay more local.
But then here's the second part to this, which we didn't touch on yet. The people that are competing, they also do a big job of hating too. And I say that in the sense of, if you were to say, all right, listen, player X, player Y, player Z, 1, 2, 3, y'all don't got it right now. So instead of going to Boo Williams in Virginia, where the hotel rooms are $250 a night, and I got to feed you for 4 nights, and you got to pay for your travel and all that, we're going to play in this tournament in Connecticut where the hotel's $100 a night. You could take the train there and back. You still have your coaches. Oh, but why are you not going to Boo Williams? See, that's what I'm talking about. You don't need to be playing with them.
No, that's a fact. And that goes back to the question you said before. What's the biggest difference between the culture nowadays and back then? Like, back then, you wouldn't – those same kids would have – I'm going to Connecticut? Oh.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes.
So it's the whole culture is definitely – everyone wants that pot of gold that, those same people who don't have the money and you try to create a lane for them, they won't appreciate it as much. They wanted something different. And – let's be honest. Who's going to coach it?
Yeah, I mean.
Are you going to? Okay, who's going to go? I don't want nothing to do with that. I'm going to Boo Williams. I want to go. Yeah. People want. So that's why I say the game is just.
I mean, but here's the thing also, right? Not only who's going to coach it, but so do you think, going back to the previous point, if there was a bigger fluctuation of talent, that we would be having these type of issues right now? I think that the lack of talent, and not just saying from really good players, I'm just saying from participation standpoint and players, the pool is not as big as it once was. So now people have to refer back to things that they probably wouldn't do that's probably not in their character because of the lack of talent.
Right, because you're looking for talent. But at the end of the day, that's where the grassroots comes in at, right? So you start from the bottom with kids. You get 4th, 5th, 6th graders who get as many of them as possible that you can get. Get them in the gym, work them out, and just keep them, just have bitty ball. And then build it up into something, right? So it's so bad right now, you're not going to be able to just jump right into something like that. It's going to have to be a build up. And it takes the younger, like yourself, you guys are young. You got into you're 26. So that's around the time where I got in the game. So at that time, at 26, I was in Patterson trying to uplift something that was here. You know what I'm saying? And we did whatever we had to do. Trust me, that we did it every day, nonstop. And
I mean, but another big resource that y'all had was gym availability. That's something that is becoming more.
Not always though, because again, in the summertime, the schools are closed. We had no gym.
You said you had
we was in the park.
Yeah, that's true.
We was in the park. We got where we went wherever we had to go to get in the gym. And then once things did, we started growing a little bit. We went to our alma mater, which is Eastside High School, and they let us in the gym. Stuff like that times, especially for the high school levels, man. But other than that, man, nobody wants to grind. Everybody wants instant gratification. Nobody wants to grind.
So do you think that it's fixable? And if so, how?
Like I said, you got to get to the grassroots of it all, man. That's Shane is doing that now with our program. We're going back to the basics, getting kids that just want to learn the game and love the game, and try to get them to buy in, and do it over again. Say me, I'm 23 years in, so I'm more like an OG that's going to sit back and try to help, try to do what I can. Right. But I've given too much. That doesn't mean I'm not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? I've given a lot. So for me to start over from scratch, that's gonna be kind of tough.
Right.
But, we got a lot of young people that, especially your female players, man, we got to get them involved. We got to get because those girls want to coach. Maybe we can get some of them to start from that real grassroots level.
Okay. So that's a great transition. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the support system in girls basketball. And it seems like every time somebody moves up a level, so you go from second grade to middle school to high school to college to pros, if you're lucky, there's never too much give back to the younger levels. Why do you think that is?
Be honest with you, from my experience, because we got kids that, have gone on to college and played professionally, they don't get a break. Like if you get a kid like that makes it, like they ain't even got to make it to the WNBA, which is very hard. They have to literally work a job. It's like an all year round thing. They don't really get a break. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard. Let's say, for instance, if you had kids like NBA guys, like they had their season, and then after the season's over with, and
it's the off season,
they got 3, 4, 5 months during the off season to, get out there. And women don't have that.
Because they got their season, then they got to go overseas to make more money. All right, so we talking about them having families and stuff like that. Listen, I agree with you, right? I feel like there's also a lot of people that are just not. There's college players that when they're done, they can come back. They're not going to pursue the pro life. And you're right. Some of them have families and things like that. But I feel like for those that aren't, the support is needed. They want to see, kids want to see people that have been in their shoes.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest with you, what happens too as well with some of the collegiate athletes? This happens on the men's side too. A lot of times when kids go to a school, they actually stay there and live.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't really come back too often to their family. They've established their name there, so they now wherever they went to school at, that's pretty much where they stay. But we got to find a way to get them more involved, even if it's in their area where they are. To get more females involved into it and put them in, empower them more, so they feel more involved. Like even at the collegiate level, man, you'll see you're starting to see more females get head jobs.
Right.
Because a majority of it was just all men, mostly men getting jobs. So it's a long struggle, man. When you talk about growing the game again, that's a big statement.
Okay, so let's shift a little bit. Let's talk about the state of New Jersey basketball.
Right.
Let's start off as a whole. What do you think? Where it's at now? What do you think? Some of the good, some of the bad. Talk to me about New Jersey in specific.
I mean, participation is down, so it's kind of hurting the game as far as, especially on a high school level. Like, from this area, we've always had top-notch talent. Like, there's no more Shabazz no more. Like, Shabazz was perennial top 10 in the country out of Jersey. Now, it's kind of been all over the place. And then for high school basketball, again, you'll see some teams that, don't have a JV team. So, you got, and I'll be honest with you, I'll blame that on the coaches. Like, if you're a coach, come on, man, like try to get more involved and get kids. Some people just collecting the check, and it's not doing the kids any help. So we got to do that. And in New Jersey basketball as a whole, like there's talent there. Don't get it twisted. There's definitely talent. I think the difference between back when we were coming up and now is like the guards back then were like 6'2". Now you got smaller guards. Dynamic, don't get it twisted. Dynamic, Hannah Hidalgo, Zoe Brooks, stud guards, you know what I'm saying? So Michaela Blake's, tough. Like if you put together like a New Jersey team, right? Let's talk about this, like for AAU. Okay. So if you put together a team this past summer, let's say if you had a team of girls that either played in New Jersey, went to high school in New Jersey, or are from New Jersey, like you can legitimately have a powerful team, right?
Yes. 100%.
Right. So, I mean, I'm just giving out names. Hey, if you got a team, Hannah Hidalgo, Zoe Brooks, Michaela Blakes, Quinera, Cherry Montague, Mia Maya Paldo, Leah Harmon still technically lives in New Jersey, right? You talking about 7 core players, right? Then I don't want to lead players' name. I'm just going off the top of my head right now. There are more, but you're talking about a very strong team at that point, right?
Talent-wise, yes. Wouldn't work, though.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. It depends on the coach and who's coaching them. I mean,
wouldn't work. I don't think so.
Yeah, well,
it's only one basketball.
Right, it's a lot of talent. It's got to make a lot of people happy.
But
right.
I get what you're saying. From a talent perspective, you can't say the state of New Jersey is down because you just named multiple kids that are on ESPN lists, couple that are McDonald's on Americans, more that could be McDonald's on Americans. So it's definitely not a talent deficit. Right. It's too spread out, though.
That's definitely, to be honest with you, it's really kind of always been like that. Like I saw something funny I posted on Twitter the other day about the state of New Jersey. Is really people don't understand that don't live here. It's kind of like broken down in like 4 different sections.
Right.
So you got the area where in like Cumberland County, Camden, and down in that area, that's like Philly,
right?
So then you got the shore.
Talk like them and all.
Right. The language is different. The way they talk.
Different type of Jersey.
Right. Then you got the shore area, which is the shore. Like that's their own little section. Then you got West New Jersey where what's out, like people don't know what's out there.
That's Pennsylvania too. That's just a different part.
That's a part of Pennsylvania, right?
Pennsylvania.
Like I get confused sometimes if I'm actually going west. I think I'm going south when it comes to, because I don't really see anything going out that way. Mm-hmm. Then you got Northern New Jersey, which is where
Jersey.
we are. Right. This is real Jersey. That's how we look at it. This is Jersey. Northern New Jersey is Jersey. That's what Northern New Jerseyans are going to say. So
let me ask you this. Is there a Central Jersey?
I mean, yeah, there is a Central Jersey.
That's absolutely a big topic of debate.
Yeah, there's a Central Jersey. I mean, they're stuck in the middle. I guess they're the waistline. Depends on where you are. But if you can be west and then consider.
So what would you consider like Franklin Township?
That's more Central Jersey. That's definitely Piscataway in our area.
That's Piscataway, Central Jersey, dude?
To me, I mean, it's 45 minutes away from here.
That's North Jersey, man. I don't know.
You think that's? I mean, it could be.
I'm not a Central Jersey believer, man. I'm one of those ones.
Right, Mike. Now you're saying there's no Central Jersey.
I don't think there's no Central Jersey.
So that's
either north or south,
northern,
man.
Okay. Hey, it wasn't on that map that I put on Twitter.
Right, exactly.
I would if I had to categorize that area, that's definitely Northern New Jersey.
Right,
definitely.
All right, so you're saying so my point was the talent is just too spread out. Like you said, it's the shore that they got. From an AU perspective is the shore shots and now Jersey Gems and all those teams. And then you got Southern New Jersey where you got BBA and whoever else is down there. And then you talk about Northern New Jersey, you got the Sparks and you got some of the New York teams recruiting talent from over here. It's just too all over the place. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, there's been a shift, and I'll be honest with you, like we've always been New Jersey basketball at its highest level. That's just a fact. That's not me bragging about it. That's just the way it was. We were always the cream of the crop. Like, I can't really tell you, like, there's a lot of good programs in New Jersey. Don't get it twisted. Like Team Miller always had like good teams, and there's always been the New Jersey Demons down with Rich Leary. Always were prominent teams, but to be honest with you, like we were always the cream of the crop, and we were the measuring stick for New Jersey basketball. So the majority of the talent in New Jersey, we typically had it, and then we also branched out. Like we got kids from the city, Pennsylvania, Delaware, whatever town is in that area. We got kids from all over the place, but mainly we definitely had a lot of kids from so be honest with you, I'm just being honest. Like when a couple of years ago, like you would only see like kids you were either going to play for the Sparks, you were going to play with the Bells before the Rise, or you were going to play with Exodus. Right? If you were a top kid, right? That was it. It wasn't. Now, not to say that there wasn't other kids around like that were good, definitely, and other good programs. Because again, I don't measure kid programs based off of Division I players, and I don't measure. But we talking about the elite of the elite. That was pretty much it, right? So now that we lost our deal, unjustly so, in my opinion, for no reason, coming off a pandemic, and they took our deal. These kids aren't staying in New Jersey no more. You have to have a certain cachet. You can't just give that to anybody and then expect the same results, right? So now it's all Jersey basketball. For me, on the AAU circuit is not being represented at all.
So you don't feel like the teams that are on the circuit from New Jersey is a good representation of New Jersey basketball?
Bro, not to say that they're not good programs.
No, you
but
say
what
not
I
a
mean
good
by,
representation of
what I mean by that is like they can go somewhere and really represent New Jersey basketball. Like what I mean by that, like going out there winning major tournaments. No, I just don't see it. And it's not good because, you know, kids shouldn't have to feel the need to leave a state. Like New Jersey is a very small state, right? But if you think about it from a whole, like even on the boys' side, look at the top teams in the country. Jersey got like 2 or 3 teams up there in the beginning of the season, right? Camden, Roselle Catholic, and there was another team, I can't remember who it was, but those two specifically were definitely perennial powers recently, right? Camden recently. Now, if you look on the girls' side of basketball in the ESPN top 25, you got Paul Six, you got Morris Catholic, you got St. John's Vianney, 3 teams in the top 25. So you can't tell me that the talent is, and that's not even including other very good players who don't play on great Q. Near. She doesn't play. She plays at Atlantic City. You know, she doesn't.
I see Montclair. They got some good teams.
Absolutely.
Got some players over there.
Right. So, and they almost knocked off St. John's Vianney, who's a top 5 team in the country, right?
Exactly.
So, you know, the talent is here. It's just not staying here anymore. You know, and to be honest with you, if somebody's going to take that torch that we had for years, I'm going to expect them to live up to that. Just like how we talk about Breonna Stewart, and yeah, that's my level of expectation. When I see, if you want to talk about you being elite, then show me, because I don't see it.
That's tough. That's definitely tough. All right, so let's talk about this, right? We're going to start wrapping it up. Talk about recruitment for a player in today's game. What should they be looking for? What's the process like? And what are some advice that you could give a player that's going through the recruiting process?
Okay, that's a good question. The first thing is you don't listen to any of these evaluators out here who run tournaments, who are posting Twitter stuff talking about you should be playing on a loaded team, and that's if you are on a loaded team. Just shout out to you and you're playing. But when I'm talking about the back end of kids that don't play, so the AAU is shifted, right? So back when we was coming up, you could literally play 6-7 games in one weekend in a matter of 3 days, right? Nowadays, that has been cut down based off of less days in July. It's the rules. You can't play 3 games. And I remember one time we went to Albany, bro. Like we had to play like 5 games in one day. Right. So if those were still the rules, you need 12.
You know, a deep roster.
You need a roster for real. Nowadays, you know, if you really think about it, the teams that are actually, and this is not no shade to any program director, because your job is to get the best of the best. That's what, you know, your job is to do that, or to field the most talent that you can, right? So what, to me, first thing is you have to be on the court. I really don't care, you know, as long as you're on the court with a program that has a sustained success of getting kids in college, because I think the number one thing is to go to school for free, right? Don't get caught up in rankings and all that, which means absolutely nothing. You know, my thing is be a collegiate All-American before you worry about being a McDonald's All-American. Like, that's when you're really doing something. But, you know, it's tough because now you have the transfer portal like we just spoke about. So you're putting yourself in jeopardy if you're not on the court. And trust me, I follow, I'm a Jersey guy, so I follow certain kids that are in New Jersey who I think should have committed already that have not committed. And when I try to help them and reach out to some of these schools, all of them are saying the same talk off. I'm waiting for that transfer portal. I'm waiting to see what I can get out of the transfer portal first.
And whatever's left.
Whatever's left over, then maybe. So that means that you're not even a priority to them. Right. And not because they're not good players, because they're waiting for that transfer report. And then some of those kids, when the college coaches did go see them play at whatever level that they were at, they either didn't play or they didn't do anything to help them help their cause.
All right. So going back to that, you said recruiting, right? So
Yeah, so I guess my advice again, now when you're recruiting nowadays also starts a lot younger too now, right?
That's true.
So we got great events out here, like select events for the grammar school kids where these evaluators come out and evaluate your kids, right? So my advice to these parents are get as much audio, video as you can and just put it out there. That content is important and playing in those events is important. And when you're playing in those events, make sure you're playing, on a team where you can play, right? So they can see you.
Playing is key, right?
Right, playing is key. I mean, no coach is going to guarantee you minutes, but you earn everything you get. But you got to make sure that you're in the right situation to where you're on the floor, no matter what. So recruiting starts early. You can start, middle school nowadays and get your name and content out there because that's important. You can build a name from yourself from the earlier age now with social media, right? And then you want to just continue that. And as you get in your high school years, don't take any year for granted, man, because every year is important. Every year is an opportunity for you to get better. That's number one. You want to get better every year. Add something to your game that you didn't have the previous year, right? Because when these recruiters or college coaches are looking at you, they just don't want to see the same thing every time you play, right? They want to see, has your game grown? Even when these college coaches are looking at you, okay, so last year, you were just primarily this. Now I see that you've turned into this. You added this to your game. Each year is important. And going into your this is when you're on the right track, right? So if you're a rising sophomore and you have offers before your AAU season has even started, right? That's showing that you're on the right track. If you're going into after your sophomore season is over with, that summer is over for now you're a rising junior, that's probably the most important year because everything should have come together at that time. They should see more of a complete player and can actually project what position you're going to play at the next level. What level can you play on is going to become more clear, and just continue to work on your game. But if you start to see that your recruitment is picking up, college coaches are calling you, and you're being actually being recruited, not letters in the mail, because letters don't mean anything, guys. Like you're just in a mailing system. We're talking about actually getting on the phone with coaches, right? Speaking to people. Don't be afraid to, make a list of questions, because you're interviewing them just like they're interviewing you. Once you get them on the phone, you want to ask the right questions, right? What type of system do you play? How do you see me fit into your system? How long have you been there? How long will you be there? Check into it and look into that college coach and see, to check their contract. Okay, this person just signed a 8-year extension. That's important.
Yeah, wow.
Right. That's some type of, where is that college coach from? If they're actually from that city, they have roots and tied into that. So they're going to want to be there, right? So you don't want to get an offer from a coach and then 2 years later, they're not there anymore. They moved on to the next thing. So stability is important when you're looking at these coaches. And finally, I would say my last piece of advice I always give every recruit, right? Again, every call or any body that you have that's recruiting you is an honor and a privilege. It's a privilege to get a call from whatever school on whatever level because they do not have to call you or try to recruit you. Only 4% make it, right, to that next level. 96% don't make it. So whatever call you get, respect the call, stay in contact with those coaches, and don't pick the school that because of a name. Pick the school that loves you the most, that shows you the most love, because at the end of the day, if you're that good and you work hard enough, you can always make that name. And those schools that just to go to a school because of a name, a lot of those kids don't end up being happy who make those decisions. And at the end of the day, basketball is a tool that you want to use to help better your life. It can take you places that you never dreamed of, but the most important thing is supposed to be fun. I think a lot of people lose sight of that. And parents, I'm gonna leave you with this on the grassroots level, right? Had this question for you because you're going to go through ups and downs. I don't care who you play for, where you go, what circuit. There's going to be ups and downs. What you want to do is you want to evaluate the situation and take the good and the bad and weigh the situation and actually grade it, right? That's why I told a parent one time, grade it. So you're here with us. Something just happened, didn't go your way, right? But overall, think about from a whole picture. Where do you grade? How would you grade this situation? And if you can grade it at a high, let's say you say, all right, you know what? It has ups and downs, but I'll give it like a 90. I had a parent tell me that one time. I give it a 90, but we're not really happy. We're going to try to look for something else. So in actuality, what you're telling me, you're chasing that 10%, as opposed to 90% that's kind of tough, right?
It's never going to be 100% satisfaction. Let me help you out with that.
Right.
Never. Let me help you out. Parents, there's never going to be a perfect situation in your basketball journey at any level. Middle school, high school, college. Even if you're a parent that coaches, it's never going to be a perfect situation for your kid. There's too many variables. There's too much. It's a human element. That 10% is called the human element of basketball. So if you're grading it a 90, that's pretty much as good as it's going to get. You got to leave some room for error there.
Right. And then, especially if you're getting what you want to get out of it, which is basically for your kid to go to school for free. Because dealing with adversity, you guys haven't seen anything yet till you get to college. Trust me when I tell you this. We've been fortunate enough to put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids in school, and all of them always say their best years were when they were in high school playing AAU basketball. All of them. So don't take this time for granted. Enjoy it and keep it simple. How do you measure success? You measure success by being part of that 4% in which your kid went on to school to the next level.
Oh, we're going to end it on that note, man. KG, thank you once again, man. Round of applause for you, man.
No doubt. I'm coming back too, man. I got more to say. We ain't get everything in there. We're going to get a little bit more spicy next time. This was the intro right here.
Hey, yo, what? Yeah, I don't. Nah, he'll definitely be back, man. This is my guy, 100%. He could keep all the spiciness for himself, though. Once again, everybody, thank you guys for supporting. Thank you for subscribing, watching, your feedback, for constantly asking when's the next one. I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue to give it to you, man. Just please support me as much as possible. You tried to press the button. It didn't work.
I wasn't going to press this. I'm not responsible for anything. None of that.
He got me. I pressed the button.
You know what
that was not good. That was not good. I shouldn't have said that, but I'm going to continue to give you the content, and just please continue to support, like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know what you think. What do you want to hear from? Who do you want to hear from? We're going to keep this thing rolling, man. Once again, coaches.